So let's talk about the obvious, the title of this video. I'm not sure what it's going to be yet, but obviously you'll see that our household got hit with COVID again. Literally almost to the week 1 year ago, I had COVID, and we assumed everyone in the house got it, although Brandon had a couple of tests at various times and they never showed a positive. The kids, we never tested because the pediatrician just said, we're gonna assume they have it. I only want to see them hospitalized if they're dehydrated, basically. And so we go a whole year, we're working, pandemic, blah, blah, blah. And then August hits again in 2021 this time, and Brandon gets COVID. So he definitely has it worse than I did. He was in the hospital and he had some x-rays of his chest and it showed that he has pneumonia. So COVID pneumonia, you can obviously get pneumonia from COVID. And honestly, we were pretty scared. I'm sorry for the lighting, guys. I was trying to get it outside and I don't know. Bear with me. So honestly, we were pretty scared. And the day that he went into the ER, he was pretty scared. And obviously I see really sick patients in the hospital as my job, and we go in and out of COVID units all the time. And so I see the condition that they can go in. And on top of the fear and anxiety from, you know, what if we have it? Although I was feeling fine at the time, what if the kids have it? What if they get it? What does this mean for work and jobs and health and all of that? So he went into the hospital and was actually able to meet the criteria to get the antibody infusion, which is still experimental, but at this point we wanted to avoid at all costs being admitted and getting put on oxygen because we just didn't want to go that route unless we absolutely had to. I'm thankful he was able to get the infusion in the ER and was able to be discharged. So we avoid him getting admitted, but he went in because he was having difficulty breathing. And I had difficulty breathing, but not until like a week after, and it was never that severe. It was only like if I was trying to like talk a lot or whatever. And we have a little, what's it called? Like a SAT checker. So it checks your vitals. So we were able to monitor his O2 sats from home, and they were in like the lower 90s, like 93, 94. They were not consistently 90 or 92 or below. And so we just were monitoring it, but he was definitely feeling it in his lungs, and he was scared. So he's back home now, and it's been several days. The kids and I got tested that next day in the morning. We waited for like 2 hours, and the test came back 2 or 3 days later, and we were all negative. So we had been distancing from him since then. He was in a room, and I was just dropping food to him. And so after we got the negative, the kids were able to go back to school, and I was able to go back to work. And he's been isolated and away from us, which is really hard. He is the extrovert of the two of us, and obviously being away from people is hard. And he's bored, but he doesn't have the energy to do anything. So I've just been encouraging him to rest and to just take this time. But you know, there's only so much you can sleep or watch YouTube or watch movies or read, which is basically all he can do. So he is recovering. He was able to take deep breaths a couple days ago, which is more than he had been able to do before. We're not sure if he also has like a sinus bacterial infection now, because once you get a viral infection, you're more susceptible to bacterial infections. So although we want to avoid antibiotics, like, oh shoot, I forgot to give Brielle her antibiotics this morning because she had an ear infection. Dang it. We might need to put him on antibiotics and figure out, because he also had bronchitis not even a year ago, like end of last year and is susceptible to it. So it's probably why his COVID got worse than mine, because his lungs are already weak, and the autoimmune diseases and stuff like that we've recently been finding out that he probably has. And if you've been following with us on the journey, you can check those videos down below. But it's just been a rough health year and a half. And I know it has been for a lot of people, and it's definitely hard, and it definitely wears on you. It's definitely affected me. Wow, my lighting is just changing all over. I'm sorry. If you have stuck around on our channel, like, we super appreciate it, because I know we've missed uploads, but I've just been managing the house, managing him, managing the kids. Right now I'm taking the kids to school and going in late to work, and then leaving work and going straight to pick them up, and doing dinners, bath, book, bed, like getting myself ready for the next day. Like, I'm sleeping on the couch, and it's just been so much. But we had a friend of ours drop food off a couple days ago on the patio. So we were talking far apart, and we were just talking about how it's just crazy, and she was just trying to encourage me and saying, like, you're not alone. And I'm like crying from like a distance, and she can't really hug me because I didn't know if I was negative or positive yet. And she's like, you're not alone. Like, they had gone through some things similar, and especially financially and with job changes and stuff. And she said something that really has helped me. And there's a lot of perspectives out there, and there's a lot of ways you can think about it, but sometimes, like, your feelings just take over, and it is a constant struggle to tame your mind and your mental whatever to be the running factor and not let your emotions take over that, because facts are truth and emotions are not. So emotions obviously matter, and you feel them, but they're not always the truth. And so she just was encouraging me, saying that God is faithful, which I know, and that He gives breaths of fresh air. And so, prior to her saying this, I was like, I just want everything to be better. I just want everything to be okay, like, all at once. And it's obviously not going to happen. Life is a journey. Certain seasons are journeys, and it's not all going to happen at once. And when she said that, I was like, yeah, like, I need to look for the breaths. And so everyone sleeping well through the night is a breath of fresh air. Like, having everything run smoothly in the morning, a breath of fresh air. Like, getting to take a cat nap for 10 minutes, that's a breath of fresh air. And looking for those small breaths and being thankful and grateful for those, that's relief. It's not all going to be okay all at once. And I mean, life is life. Like, it's never going to be okay, because sin is in the world, and so there's always going to be something that's going wrong. And if it's not in our immediate family, it's going to be in our extended family or our close friends or our friends. And so, and there's always something we can be praying for, and always something that is going to be wrong, because we're not in our perfected state, and we're not with God in heaven. So having this perspective of a breath of fresh air, a breath of something positive, like, that really kind of stuck with me when she said that. And so I've been trying to concentrate on that, and just inundating myself with the word, and trying to read more, and listening to messages and podcasts online that will help shape my perspective and my heart, because really that's all we can do. We can't fix our world. We can't fix health problems. Like, obviously we try to do our best, and we try to, we really want to eat healthier. We want to take supplements that we can, but we want to eat whole foods. But it's hard, because we want to also be balanced, and we want to stay within our budget, and and that can be difficult to achieve. And honestly, yeah, I don't even know what else to say, because it's life. We're certainly thankful for all of you guys, and we know from comments that you guys have left that you guys have gone through stuff too. We know one of our subscribers, we just learned, passed away from COVID. She was like a friend of a friend, and we're super sad about that. And I mean, COVID is real. Like, obviously it's a disease, and but it's also just part of our society now, and it's going to be something we deal with probably for years to come, until things get figured out and science happens, and there's so many thoughts around everything concerning it. But what we want to do is be a light and be an encouragement to people, because we can't get rid of it. Although I know we're so over it, like everyone is so over it. I also read a story from someone that somebody was asking an older man in his late 80s, like, oh, it must be so hard for you during this time. And he was like, no, you know, he had lived through past wars and like awful things in the past, like he's almost 90. Other major events that, you know, people who haven't lived through it don't think about or remember because they weren't there. But he was like, basically, I make my own news headlines. I don't go by what the media is saying, you know, this dark story, this, that. Like, I make my own. Like, man meets new friend today. Man helps his family today feel loved. Like, man brings food to a family in need. Man is able to sit with his children and just hold their hands. Like, he makes his own headlines and stories. And I was like, yeah, I mean, we do. We make our own life, in a sense. Like, obviously we can't control what happens in our life, but we have the responsibility to change what we can. So for me, like, that means my perspective. And it's definitely one of the hardest things, because there's not a quick fix, and it's a daily battle to, as the Bible says, like, take captive every thought and make it obedient to Christ. So is it something that's true? Is it honorable? Is it admirable? Is it, you know, all of those things that the Bible says? Is it any of those things? Is it worthy of thinking about? Like, if it's not, exnate it. Like, get it out of your mind. Don't dwell on it. Like, we can't stop things from entering our mind, but we can certainly stop from dwelling on them. How? Well, in my experience, you can't just stop thinking about it. You have to replace it with something. So replacing with something positive. Gratitude, like being thankful for just the little things, like being thankful for food on your table, being able to sleep at night, being able to, you know, have a pillow and blanket, like things that bring you comfort, like being thankful for your family, for, you know, kisses to your children, for all the little things, like things that maybe other people you think would laugh at, but they're meaningful to you. Like, that's what we have to be thankful for, and that replaces the negative thoughts. And so that's what I'm trying to do. And if you've stuck around this far, leave this emoji in the comments and let me know. Let me know how we can be praying for you. And if you're a praying person, please pray for our family. You know, there's just been so much going on, as I know there has been in other people's lives. And I think how we change our family is by praying and by loving. And so being together, life is better together. We say that because we mean it, and we want to be here to encourage you. So let us know how we can pray for you, how we can encourage you. If you have video ideas that you want, we have a whole list of things that we want to do, like a whole spreadsheet for the rest of the year. And we're going to do those. But if you guys have something specific you want us to do, like, leave a comment down below, because we would love to be able to encourage you in ways that are helpful to you. I know that it can seem, because this is how it's been for us, that we can just never get ahead. Like, we've one thing after another, we are fighting and we can't ever reach our goals, but it's just seasons. And we just need to look for the breaths of fresh air. I know we do have some exciting videos coming up, so make sure you're subscribed down below if you're not already. Thank you guys for being here, for sticking around. We love you guys, and we want to keep building this community because life is better when we can encourage each other. So until we meet again, don't forget, life is better together. It's really hot out here, so I'm gonna go inside now. See you guys later.